The sun bled orange across the horizon, casting long shadows over the rice fields Min had toiled on for decades. This land, his family's legacy, was more than dirt. It was his heart, his history. But HOA, the village's self-proclaimed queen of deals, had other plans. Known for her sharp tongue and sharper business tactics, HOA had a reputation for bending rules until they snapped. Min had trusted her once, signing a contract to lease a portion of his land for her community project. Little did he know, that contract was a trap she'd woven with meticulous cruelty. HOA's scheme unraveled in the village office, where Min stood, staring at a forged deed. HOA had sold his entire plot to a developer for a gleaming resort, pocketing a fortune while leaving Min with nothing but a worthless signature. Her smirk was a blade, cutting through the room's stifling air. "You signed it, Min," she taunted, waving the document. "It's legal." The villagers, gathered like a jury, whispered in shock. Min's hands trembled, not from fear but from a fury that threatened to consume him. He'd been betrayed, his trust weaponized against him. But Min wasn't as naive as HOA believed. Years ago, scarred by a neighbor's shady deal, he'd buried legal safeguards in every contract he signed, clauses so subtle they were invisible to the untrained eye. HOA, in her greed, hadn't noticed the landmines hidden in the fine print. Min's voice was low, steady, as he said, "You didn't read the contract, did you?" The room stilled. HOA's smirk faltered, a crack in her armor. Enter Lynn, a young lawyer who'd returned to the village after years in the city. She was an unexpected twist, a quiet observer who'd been watching HOA's schemes unfold. Lynn had once been HOA's protégé, learning the art of negotiation at her side. But she'd left when she saw HOA's moral compass erode. Now, clutching a worn copy of Min's contract, Lynn stepped forward. "This document," she said, her voice cutting through the tension, "has a reversion clause. If the land's use deviates from the agreed purpose, ownership reverts to Min immediately." Gasps rippled through the crowd. HOA's face drained of color. The revelation was a spark in a powder keg. HOA lunged for the contract, but Min's weathered hand snatched it first. "You thought you could erase my life for profit?" he roared, his voice shaking the walls. The villagers, once passive, surged forward, their murmurs now accusations. HOA's empire of deceit was crumbling, and she knew it. Lynn's calm explanation of the clause ironclad, unbreakable, sealed HOA's fate. The developer, informed of the legal trap, backed out, leaving HOA with a debt she couldn't pay. But the victory was bittersweet. Min's land was safe, yet the betrayal had fractured the village's trust. Neighbors who'd once shared meals now eyed each other with suspicion. HOA, stripped of her wealth and influence, vanished into the night, but her absence left a void. Min stood on his land at dawn, the fields stretching endlessly before him, yet he felt no peace. The fight had cost him more than money. It had cost him faith in those around him. Lynn, though, became the village's new beacon. Her unexpected return had shifted the tide, reminding everyone that justice, though slow, could prevail. She stayed, vowing to rebuild what HOA had torn apart. Min, grateful but weary, handed her a small tokina seedling from his fields. "Plant it," he said. "Let it grow where trust can." Lynn's eyes glistened as she nodded, a silent promise to mend the community's wounds. The story of Min's land spread beyond the village, a cautionary tale of greed and redemption. HOA's downfall was a lesson, but it left scars. Min's legal landmines had saved his legacy, but they couldn't erase the pain of betrayal. The fields remained, but the heart of the village would take years to heal. What do you think? Can justice truly mend a community torn apart by greed? Or do some wounds run too deep? Share your thoughts.